to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guests today are Shenica Odom, Director of Middle School Programs for the Girl Scouts of Greater New York, Greater Girl Scouts of Greater New York, right? And very nicely, she's brought along one of her cadets, Girl Scout cadets, Alyssa Lebron. Thank you for being on the show. Hi, Alyssa. Right, and we already know the cadet means that that's the older division. Okay, so let's get started right up. Shenica, your program is different than the traditional Girl Scouts program. We know that the Girl Scouts still help for leadership and good values and individual responsibility. That's all true, right? Traditional troop. But you have a different focus.
Yes.
And what is that?
The name of our program, as you said, is a Career Exploration Program. We call ourselves CEP for short. And we are able to work at schools in the South Bronx where we wouldn't normally have a traditional troop. And we operate during the school day like any other class, and we introduce our students to financial literacy, career options that they may not be aware of. And we try to set them on the right track for high school and beyond.
And you're girls only?
Girls only.
Okay, so well, that's nice. Do you feel more comfortable talking about career exploration or what careers are available and financial literacy when you're with girls only, Alyssa?
Yes, because it's not so much intimidating than with a group of boys and girls. It's less intimidating to speak up and clearly to girls.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry that someone's going to bully you or laugh at you or some of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Career exploration is pretty important for women, girls and women. After all, even in this 21st century, we're not done with glass ceilings and things that are make it more difficult for girls to advance. How do you introduce different careers? You don't just talk about it.
No, we don't just talk about it. We have 4 quarters each year. We have 3 classes, or 3 grades, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And throughout the entire program, there is a literacy segment of each program. There is
a financial literacy. What do? You teach people how to balance a checkbook?
It starts in the 6th grade, balance a checkbook, create a budget. In the 7th grade, they learn about how to be a businesswoman through our cookie program, which most people, when they think of the cookies, they only think of the cookies, but it's a business that girls are introduced to.
You have to buy it.
You have to buy it, you have to market it.
You have to market it, you have to keep it fresh.
You have to keep
What else
strong
do you have to do, Alyssa, with the cookie?
You have to present it.
Yeah, right, exactly. You have to present it, sell it, very good. And then after you sell it, what do you have to do?
Bring in the money.
Right, and it has to add up. It has to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like running a business. I had never thought of Girl Scout cookies as being an introduction to entrepreneurship, but it is. You know what an entrepreneur is?
Yes.
What is it?
A person that owns their own business.
Good for you.
And that's actually a segment in the 8th grade.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
I'm going to 9th.
Good, 9th grade. And so good for you. You guys are doing a good job. And why in the South Bronx? Don't forget, we're international, actually. Right. So why in the South Bronx?
We found that traditional troops are just harder in the South Bronx because parents are not able to participate in the same way that we find other areas are able to. So the South Bronx is an area that we haven't been able to tap in the most traditional sense. Right. And this is our means of meeting our girls where they are in their communities.
Exactly. And also, girls that often come from urban areas need some extra guidance, need some extra values, because all the things that girls sometimes see and learn on the streets isn't necessarily good for the future. Am I right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, what do you do? Have you been on visits to see how women working?
Yes, I've been to BlackRock.
Oh, BlackRock. Hey, that's a huge firm. That's I think one of the leading. What industry is BlackRock in?
Marketing.
Marketing, right? Finance. Very good. BlackRock is a very successful firm. A lot of women at BlackRock.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I have a friend, I have to tell her that I interviewed you, who is director of their human resources. You know what human resources is? What's human resources?
Where it works with. It has to do with humans?
It has to do with humans, absolutely. Very good answer, absolutely. It's kind of like helping you think of this, look up and think of the stars or something. It's stretching, right? Stretching your goals, stretching your dreams.
I like to say that through CEP, we're able to expose our girls to different options that they wouldn't necessarily have for themselves. And I think that Alyssa said it amazingly well this morning when she talked about, I have new ideas about what I can do when I leave high school.
Right, exactly. Sometimes, I mean, many years ago, I don't know. I think I don't know how long ago. Girls, when they were in school, the skills they learned were skills around home economics. Right. Cooking, sewing, whatever, babysitting, and now financial literacy. Well, for one thing, a key to independence and individual responsibility is being able to earn money and manage it. Right?
Yes.
Right.
And I think that our girls are able to walk away with that sense of ownership, that they are in charge of their futures, and that their futures are brighter because they have the knowledge that will take them the next step.
Right. How old is your program, Jenny?
We're going into the 4th year. We just graduated our first class.
Right. So why did you pick middle school?
Statistically, and reports tell us that in the middle school area, that's where girls become more vulnerable to self-esteem issues. Definitely attendance issues start to emerge during the middle school time. And if we can get them on the right track, say by the 8th grade, they're more likely to have a successful time in high school. Because of it.
So your first group is going into high school. You'll track them all the way through.
All the way through, and beyond. Yes.
Yeah, right. So you have companies and corporations in New York.
Right.
Is this program something that can be modeled all over the United States, or is it?
That's our hope. Our hope is that right now we're a staff of 11 people that teach about 1,200 girls, 5 schools throughout the South Bronx. Our hope, though, is that we're able to create curriculums that our schools can start to emulate for themselves, classroom teachers, and then we'll take on a new group of schools, and hopefully this becomes something that the Department of Education picks up.
Even now in some of the schools in New York City and elsewhere, often classes in the elementary school are named for colleges.
Right.
And I was watching a graduation in elementary school last year, along with someone that was on the show. And these kids, were being taken to Columbia. They're being taken to colleges, even in kindergarten and first grade, to show I had to have a motivation.
Right.
Are you thinking about a career for yourself, Alyssa?
I was set on one goal, but as she said, Girl Scouts has opened my ideas of what I want to be, instead of what my parents want me to be.
Right.
So right now, I want to do whatever I can to learn about other job careers that I can head for.
Exactly. And it makes you feel happy about yourself to know that you have choices.
Yeah.
That you don't have to just do something that is traditional, or that you see other women in the neighborhood or others, that you do have choices.
Yes.
I suppose that's one of the best things that you do, Shenica, is raise people's options as far awareness.
And they start to think about,
hey, I could be a lawyer.
I could be a lawyer. I could be a doctor, and it's feasible because it's they're one subway away from success, and they understand that.
Well, especially living in a city like New York or San Francisco or Los Angeles or Boston, where things are so much more accessible to young people. There was a time, when listen, there's stories about women who had to fight to get jobs as lawyers, and even they were trained lawyers. They were hired. They were told to get the coffee. Or photocopy. What? Yeah, but it's true, right? Shenica, right? Yes. Get the coffee, photocopy the paper, go get the mail. Things that are very menial to do. I'm aside from TV, I'm in manufacturing, which is an industry that's mostly male-dominated, and I still have to remind people, that they shouldn't refer to other women who are entrepreneurs as, you know, the girl. Right. No, you're laughing, but you've heard it, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, yeah. So this program, which again has the initiative in the middle school, because you call that the most vulnerable.
Right.
So do you also teach the young women that you work with about interviewing, about dressing, about how to...
The final curriculum, the final quarter and final curriculum for the eighth grade is all about the first job. And we did a lot to loop our girls into SYEP, which is Summer Youth Employment Program.
Youth Employment, right.
And we wanted them to be aware of it on a grander scale, not just know that there's an application that they can do. We were very active and we engaged them in the process, which included interviewing and knowing about the options for themselves over the summer. And making that something that can be included in their summer plans when it may not have been, because schools are doing SYEP, but it's not
is the summer
youth program, but it's not on the table as a true viable source for the summer.
Well, so many of the skills that help anyone become successful in their career are also skills that make it very helpful in being successful in managing family. It's not like, you know, anyone is saying that women should not be mothers or good parents. I have found over the years, you probably know this too, that often how you have to deal with a customer in a low voice, reasonable way and listen is also very helpful to remember when you're talking to your spouse or to your children, not to rush in with the, you know, really.
Right. I mean, life skills are what
we're and then
enforcing.
There's a big crossover between career. So you're entering ninth grade now.
Yes.
You're going to miss this, right? This program.
Yes.
Yeah.
She will, but she'll always be a part of it.
You stay a part.
But we'll be doing another troop during my high school year.
And then listen, I bet you anything as you advance, you use these cadets as mentors.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us before we end about the banner.
The banner is basically every badge is what we have learned or what we have succeeded or done within the quarters.
Yeah, and the one that's the biggest on in the front says interact, diplomatic.
Mm-hmm.
This was 7th grade.
Yep.
Right.
7th grade.
Right. So the truth in summary, Alyssa and Shenica, it's not just learning about careers. It's also really very value-oriented in ways that are beneficial to your entire lifestyle.
I mean, in our program, we have taken the absolute best of Girl Scouts. We've been around for 100 years. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. We haven't fixed it so that we don't look like Girl Scouts, we don't sound like Girl Scouts, but we've just taken it into communities that wouldn't normally have
You're
it.
21st century entrepreneurs, and one one of your products is cookies.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on the show. You were a real trooper, Alyssa, and thank you so much. Thank you for bringing Alyssa along, and also for what you do for young women.
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm Judith West, host of Getting Your Money's Worth, and thank you very much for watching.